This homestand has been full of potential goodbyes. Over the last 3 games, each Giant starting pitcher could have been making his last start with the team. But today's starter, it's all about making one last impression. Yusmeiro Petit has emerged as a contender to make the staff next season. Petit gets the ball and is coming up next.
We've got day baseball here at AT&T Park. Lots of sunshine for Game 2 of this 3-game series, Padres and Giants. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwight Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krupko. Giants have won 3 straight, all within teams in their division. They're 43-31, Mike, in the West. And you'd think that they were in first place with those numbers. But they could build on it today.
Well, they're going to look to try and build on it today, and they're going to flip the ball to Yusmeiro Petit. How good has he been? Well, the Giants have won all 6 of his starts, and in those starts, he's 4-0 with a 2.84 ERA. He has been an incredible good bit of news for the Giants, and he'll look to add to that 43-31 today.
No Buster Posey in the lineup today. It's Hector Sanchez. Hey, we're looking forward to a fun afternoon here at the Yard. All right, when we come back, we will have the starting lineups in the first pitch right after this.
Hunter Pence, a very happy young man. Everybody's happy. A new 5-year deal. Game Time Weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 67 degrees here at the Yard. We got very light winds, maybe at times no wind. 46% is the humidity, and it is mostly sunny. All right, a quick look at the Padre lineup. It'll be Denorfia to lead things off. He always does well against the Giants. And it's brought to you by Coors Light. Jerko Headley, and then Tommy Medica. It'll be Guzman, Amarista, Robinson, and then Stoltz.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the right-hander, Yusmeiro Petit. And let's check out what he has done in his 6 starts. He's 4-0 with a 2.84 ERA. The Giants have won all 6 of the games that he has pitched in. 45 strikeouts against 11 walks and 44 1/3. And the way he does it is with a very, very accurate control of both sides of the plate. He'll 2-4 seam the fastballs. He'll give you a curveball, slider, and a changeup. But his control and command have been impeccable, and they have been the keys to his success.
Hit into center field. Moving back is Pagan. Still moving back. It is gone. And that's how this game gets started. On a leadoff home run, his 10th of the year for Chris Denorfia.
And this ballpark has been playing small ever since the Giants got back to San Francisco. Another example of it. Just a challenge fastball, a mistake to a location. It goes right belt high, middle in, and Denorfia takes on the deep part of the yard and spanks it right out of here.
That's bad luck, isn't it?
Well, hit a home run first guy. That's bad luck for the offense, I might add.
Here's Forsythe, who hit a home run last night off of Javier Lopez. Forsythe hitting .218, 6 home runs, 19 driven in. With Jed Jerko on deck. 2 balls and no strikes. Let's see if that home run rattled Petit just a little bit.
Got to get over it.
Skied to left. It'll be Perez as you see the ball carry. And Perez puts it away.
Check out that defense playing behind Petit today. Giants are going to set up this way in the outfield from left to right. It'll be Perez, Pagan, and Pence. The Killer Peas, Adrianza and Sandoval on the left side of the infield. Abreu and Pill on the right side. And Hector Sanchez will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Jerko. Jerko last night had 3 hits. There's a big swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Overall, having a nice season. 21 big flies, 57 driven in. And that pitch is just off the plate with Chase Headley on deck. And that's the spot that Petit wants to throw it.
Let's check out the motion of Petit, brought to you by Exmo and your local Toyota dealer. Very compact. He doesn't have long arms. He's a short arm delivery with a short arm period. And because of that, he can repeat that stroke.
Abreu's going to go back and put it away. 2 outs.
And that explains the amazing consistency that we have seen with his command.
So here's Headley. Headley at 249, 13 home runs, 50 driven in. He's only faced Petit 3 times. He's 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Not an overshift, but Sandoval way off the line at third, and Adrianza playing maybe 10 feet or 10 steps away from second base. 0-1 to Headley.
Just a bit high. You're not going to see a lot of high strikes today with Joe West, the plate umpire strike zone. He's a low ball guy. And generally speaking, Joe will give a bigger strike zone early, and it tightens up as the game wears on.
One and two.
Quinn Wolcott, Andy Fletcher, Rob Drake round out the 4-man umpiring crew with Joe West, as he's talked about, behind the plate, crew chief.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
That last slider barely missed. You could throw that same pitch. You might get it with Joe West.
Look out. Pulled foul. New baseball for Petit. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you'd love to get the one that just slammed up against the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, they won't let you have that one.
No. And there's a reason for it. They need blemish on the ball. We'll put movement on the ball.
Hit out into center field. Moving back is Pagan. And that'll end the inning. Padres 1, Giants coming up. A solo home run of the first. They lead 1-0. Here's the Giants lineup, and it's brought to you by Coors Light. Perez, Pence, and Sandoval. Oh, let's go back. Angel, Pagan in the leadoff spot. Then it's Perez, Pence, and Sandoval. Sanchez, he will hit in the 5th slot. Then it's Abreu, Pill, Adrianza, and Petit.
On the hill today for these Padres will be the left-hander, Eric Stoltz. You take a look at what he has done this year. 10-13 with a 3.94 ERA. 196 innings, probably going to go over the 200 level. He has really been one of the cornerstone arms in their rotation. How's he do it? He's got a high 80s fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, good control, great control. And you're going to see him throw any one of his pitches in any count today.
So it's no balls and 1 strike to Pagan. And Pagan takes low. There's an Angel Pagan fan.
A lot of them around here.
And Pagan lifts this one high and foul down the right field line, and it's going to sail into the seats.
Eric Stoltz is not a baby. I mean, he's 33 years old. This is his 12th year of professional baseball. 6 feet tall, 230-pounder. Just completing his 3rd year at the big league level. So he paid his dues to get here. And he has learned his craft well. If you watch him, he really does the whole deal. He has good pickoff moves. He feels his position well. There's a lot of things to help himself out.
Hit high and deep to left. Back is Guzman looking up off the top of the wall. And headed into second base is Pagan.
Well, shall we say it again?
Yeah, it's a bandbox today.
When the wind doesn't blow here, it becomes a small ballpark. The wind is the protection. Just a little cut fastball. It drops middle in right above the knees. And Angel Pagan jumps all over it and puts himself into score position and almost knocks it out of here. How close was it? About 2 feet. And that is our forward right choice.
So with Pagan at second base, here's Juan Perez. And the first pitch is high to Perez. Perez 3 for 4 last night. His first major league home run. He hit a laser over the wall in left center field. Shoots this one foul down the right field line and out of play.
And he was trying to go to right field, which is what you're supposed to do. Let's check out that Padre defense behind Stoltz today. It'll be Guzman, Amarista, and Denorfia. That's your outfield. Pretty good arms across the board. The best one in right field. Forsythe and Headley on the left side of the infield. You've got Jerko and Medica on the right side.
Headley is going to throw out Perez. As that ball stayed in Headley's glove, but not long enough. And these fans are happy, and why wouldn't you be? Hunter Pence will be a Giant for 5 more years. And Pence with a swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Pence overall, 26 home runs, 94 driven in. The target is being set up on the inside part of the plate, and Pence hits one off the backstop. It's 0-2.
Well, the fact that the negotiation is over with, I think, is going to be a relief to Hunter Pence. And he was talking about it yesterday prior to the game. He said, it's been wearing on me, and it was reflected. He had an 0 for 26 going into last night's ball game before he broke up the 0 for with a home run.
And Pence out swinging. 2 down, and the hitter will be Sandoval.
But he'll be wearing that uniform for 5 more seasons. And that's what he wanted all along. He wanted to stay here in San Francisco. Found a home. Fans love him. Bruce Bochy, Brian Sabian, big fans of Hunter Pence. And now it's official. Congratulations.
Here's Sandoval. Sandoval's got major ownage on Stoltz. 10 for 19. And that is cast up high. 1 ball and no strikes with first base open. And maybe you see Stoltz pitch around the Panda. Down the left field line. This is going to tie the game. Sandoval's got a double. It's 1-1.
Well, it's what he's done so well all season is swing the bat with runners in scoring position. He leads the team in that category. And to do it in a 2-out situation even hurts a little bit more on that opposing pitcher. And not an overswing at all. Just a nice, relaxed top hand throw. A little bit out front, but squares it up, and the Giants tie the score.
So here's Hector Sanchez. Sanchez takes outside for a ball, 1-0. And a strike. Sanchez has faced Stoltz 3 times. He's 1 for 3. Phelps looks to second. Swinging a tapper to third, and this is going to be out at third as Sandoval is tagged out at the last second. Otherwise, it would have been a base hit.
Unbelievable.
Pretty nifty play by Chase Headley. Giants tie it up. Here's the play. It's 1-1.
To you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek's Challenger Slot Tournaments. Free entry daily from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Visit CacheCreek.com for details.
Well, you want to live out your lifetime fantasy to play professional baseball? The Giants Fantasy Camp in Scottsdale, Arizona will give you that opportunity to live that dream. Fantasy Camp package will include 6 days of baseball, a personalized uniform, accommodations at the Marriott Suites in Scottsdale, airfare, and much, much more. The 2014 Giants Fantasy Camp is scheduled for January 19th through the 26th. Go to sfgiants.com/fantasy camp or call 800-411-1919 or 800-411.
Bill Lasky.
1919. Well done. Hey, Panda fans are here.
The Panda fans are always here. Here's Medica.
Although I don't think they were that happy with Panda's base running at the bottom of the first inning, his last out. It's a play I don't think I've ever seen before.
How long have you been doing this?
Long time.
And you've never seen that before?
No. I mean, that became a foot race between Sandoval and the ball.
I saw that happen a number of times, speaking of fantasy camp.
Well, yeah, you'll see that every day at fantasy camp.
You know, the 70-year-old that can't quite make it to third?
That's true.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that guy's us right now.
I don't point fingers anymore.
1-2 to Medica.
Nice tight little slider. Tommy Medica, he lit it up this year. In 81 games total this year, including 76 for San Antonio. This kid hit .296 with 22 doubles, 3 triples, 20 home runs, and 65 RBIs.
He's got a little thump behind that swing as he skies this one out to center field.
Local kid with the Santa Clara. Let's take a look at that race. Now watch the ball and watch Sandoval. They converge on third. And Sandoval realizes I gotta pick it up, and he's about maybe 4 inches too late.
Well, he's got some explaining to do to Hector Sanchez.
Well, I think he beats it out. The third base umpire, Rob Drake, making the call, but it cost Hector Sanchez a base hit.
It did.
And that's a fellow countryman.
both from Venezuela.
Here's Jesus Guzman. Guzman with a swing and a miss. Amarista is on deck.
Oh, cutter is lethal. Not a big break. We're talking 4-inch slide, but he paints that outside corner at the knees, and you'll see a lot of swing throughs with it.
Driven to right. Pence moving back. It starts to carry, and he makes the running catch. And let's check in with Amy G.
Well, speaking of Hunter Pence, we have some fun fan reaction on Twitter about Hunter being a Giant for 5 more years. I pulled out some of my favorites. We've got love him, totally excited, awesome, Giants and Pence are a perfect match. Here's my favorite hashtag, awkward in a good way. Brett Anderson of the A's, guys, he tweeted so many scooters, and Madison Bumgarner was quoted by the Giants beat writers on Twitter saying, that's pretty cool if you like $90 million. Right?
Oh, bum. There's a call strike to Amarista. I was in the clubhouse today, and all he wanted to do was wrestle anybody that was within 5 yards of him. And it was clear that Bumgarner needed to make a start because he is antsy. Look, he's going to be wrestling cows and calves Tuesday morning. But he was, let's say, it's hard to think as Bumgarner is playful. But he wanted to pin everybody in the room.
Well, he probably could.
And he could. I agree.
And he's one of those guys that, he's 6'5", 235. And when he gets mad, he goes to about 6'8", 340.
We don't know if this guy has any cattle, but Bumgarner does. Outside to Amarista, it's 2-2.
I mean, he looked like he could have some cattle.
No, really, yeah.
He's got the big hat.
Shirt might be a little too starched. This guy does not. He's got cats and dogs. And that'll do it.
Cats and dogs?
At the Fry's.com Open. Buy tickets at Fry'sOpenGolf.com.
Log on to CSNBayArea.com and click on Giants In-Game Live, presented by PogoSeat.com. Follow the action on the diamond like never before. Giants In-Game Live, presented by PogoSeat.com, only at CSNBayArea.com. Abreu is going to pop out to Headley, 1 out. And that'll bring to the plate Brett Pill. Pill hitting .222 with 3 home runs. He's got 12 RBIs. He's faced Stoltz before. He's 1 for 4. And here he takes a strike. On deck is Adrianza. Pill, a mighty swing and a foul back. Lots of groaning going on. 0-2. Pill, a little pop-up that Medica is going to put it away.
Yeah, now that's an 87-mile-an-hour cut fastball. It just has a little leak that runs in on the hands, and Stoltz will use that a lot against righties, but he plants it right at the belt. You see it, you start to drool when you're getting after it, and then it just keeps working its way in on your hands, and you can't barrel it. Nice pitch.
So here's Adrianza. Adrianza on the first pitch pops it down the right field line. It'll be Medica, side retired. 5-pitch inning, 3 pop-ups. 3rd inning coming up. This game is tied. It's 1-1.
By Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Giant season tickets are currently sold out, but you can get on deck as a 2014 Giant season ticket member. This waiting list will give you access to opening day and all the Giants home games. To get more information and details, call 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/season. It's a 1-1 ball game. It is a very nice Saturday afternoon as Chris Robinson, the Padre catcher, is going to lead things off. And a first pitch strike at the knees, and it's 0-1.
Such a weapon. Control. When you have control, you can go out. You don't have to throw 95. If you've got command and you can pound knee-high location or pick apart a guy's weaknesses.
And Sandoval's got this. 1 out.
And you get good defense behind you. Life is good. Watch Sandoval on the left side of your screen. He gets one crossover step and a spear with a low backhand. said, "You like being on the hot corner?" He says, "I love it." Remember, he came up as a catcher. So things coming at him that are going hard and fast, not a problem.
Loves it. Stultz is a good hitter, and he takes a strike.
And how quick does it get on him? That quick.
Stultz takes a strike. It's 0-2. On deck, Denorfia. On the ground, Abreu, and he will flip out Stultz.
Go back to the first inning. This is how this game started off. Second pitch of the game, Denorfia does this against Petit. He squares it up right over the 399 sign, and that was home run number 10. And that's a significant home run for a guy. It's worth some money.
Yes, it is. And here's Denorfia with 2 outs. And a first pitch strike, and it's 0-1.
I like that. He went right back in there with the same pitch he got. That he gave the home run up on, and you'd have to do that. You've got to get back in there and reclaim territory. He just did. Good pitch. That's one he should have got and didn't get.
And the girls are here.
Gamer babes.
Bride to be.
Well, best wishes to the bride to be. Gamer babes.
Hit into center field for Pagan, and it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Yasmero Petit. Petit will lead things off in a tie game.
Is brought to you by Grimes Coffee Pouches. Get the product that players use and visit getgrimes.com today.
A 1-1 ball game as we head to the home half of the third, and Giants starting pitcher Yasmero Petit, he will lead things off. He's 1 for 15.
Well, he's got a hit, so that makes him a threat. 2 RBIs.
Pagan to follow, and the 1-1. And it's 1-2. And Petit bounces this one, and it'll be Forsythe. And he throws, and just staying on the bag is Medica, and that's out number 1. John will be in innings 4, 5, and 6. As I'll head over to the radio side. Dave Fleming is on assignment in this 1-1 ball game.
Angel is back, thank heaven. Well, we feel you. He was missed.
And Pagan takes a breaking ball.
And what we have found out is the Giants are a different team without Angel Pagan.
Yeah, it's tough when you got to find out the hard way. You know, maybe a guy takes a day off a couple of times and the team gets beat up, but this was a long time.
Almost 3 months.
Hits this one up the middle. Can Forsythe throw him out? Yes, he can. 2 outs for Juan Perez.
This play by Forsythe going hard to his left. Almost not hit sharply, and you can see the range that Forsythe has. And watch the exchange. Glove hand, bare hand, and throwing from down under. I always talk about pitchers that have the ability to alter their arm slot like Javier Lopez. Well, infielders, they do it on just about every play.
Perez bounced out to third. He actually hit a bullet that Headley knocked down and then threw him out. A 1-1 ball game. Both teams scoring a run in the first inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And a strike on the outside corner. There's a little one that probably hadn't been in too many games. It may very well be the first game.
I'm saying maiden voyage with this one. It's got to be about 4 months.
Popped out of play, 2-2. Lump of play stage.
It's pretty much the stage where they start to think they can fly, right?
Yep. Won't be long. Look out, Foster City. Here they come. Two balls, 2 strikes. Good take from Perez. It's 3-2. Hit on the ground. Forsythe. He kicks this one, and Perez is aboard. Forsythe is a little out of position.
Well, he's trying to take it without going to the backhand. And I think if he had a choice, he may have just gone to the backhand. It would have put him in a better position. And that's a significant error because it's going to allow Hunter Pence a chance. But I think Forsythe did accelerate his effort because he knew he didn't have a lot of time with the speed of Perez. So the Giants catch a break. Stoltz has a pretty good move, too.
Always careful, Mike, that you might step on your glove. Close.
That was close. That was close.
Because you know what happens if you step on your glove? You quit.
That's it. You're done. You retire the next day or the next half inning.
I did it in fantasy camp. I mean, fun all those years of guys, the fantasy campers that stepped on their gloves. And then the day I did it, I said, I won't be back.
That's it.
And I wasn't back. Pence, high drive, center field. It is out of here. the crowd is going to love this. And that's home run number 27.
RBIs number 95 and 96. Now let's watch it one more time. You cannot make a mistake up and out over the plate. He is unforgiving. And how many have we seen him hit this month the same way to the same part of the yard? He takes on center field and makes it look small.
And this is hit on the ground up the middle for a base hit.
That's how you take advantage of an error, a 2-out error.
Yeah, you said it right away. You said that's a big error. Okay, they've given Juan Perez a base hit now. They, being the official score, felt like Perez would have beaten it out. And maybe that's the correct call. But we'll never know if he would have beat it out or not.
Hey, error on the side of a base hit, I'm on board for that. Especially this time of year. Especially with a young hitter trying to establish himself.
So here's Hector Sanchez.
Now, if that was the first hit of a ball game.
Yeah, a little problem with that. Sanchez takes a strike. Stults to the plate, and that's rolled foul.
Well, you know, you sign a 5-year extension for $90 million. You're playing your first game after you've signed it. You should hit a home run.
I mean, I don't think he got a lot of sleep.
No.
I don't think Mr. Bear got a lot of sleep. I don't think the manager got a lot of sleep.
How about the GM?
I don't think the GM. I don't think Bobby Evans got a lot of sleep.
Well, Hunter Pence has said, I mean, this negotiation the last couple of weeks have really been wearing on him. There's Larry Bear. He looks well rested.
He's fresh. Sanchez fouls it back.
We'll move right over.
You're the Pence. Absolutely.
The bearded dragon.
Look out. This kid worked hard on that. Nice job.
Yeah, that took some time.
The 0-2 pitch is low. Maybe the biggest game going on today is the Cleveland-Minnesota game.
What's the score on that now?
Cleveland just scored 2 runs. This is hit on the ground. Headley on the backhand. Across the diamond. Got him. All right. Hunter Pence. Home run number 27. It's bye-bye, baby. 3-1 Giants. John Miller coming in.
Hunter Pence joined a very exclusive club. He was awarded the Willie Mack Award for 2013. Big Mac giving the award to him. Hugs from previous winners and a fan favorite.
I take every single game with everything I got. I love every minute with you guys. I tell you that every day.
And he was very, very heartfelt with his comments, and it was a great night. So here we are, top of the fourth inning, 3-1 Giants, and here to tell you all about it, John Miller.
And the word is around the ballpark, although nothing official has been announced by anybody, that the Giants and Pence may well have agreed on a contract extension. And apparently the only reason, at least the story goes, nothing official has been said one way or the other, but just pending the outcome of the physical, which is sort of standard operating procedure when a big contract is agreed to. And that, I think, if you're a Giants fan, that is extremely good news. Here's a swing and a miss by Forsythe. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, that is good news, and it solves a lot of problems. Number one, you lock up a guy with power to play a great right field for you. You know he's going to play every day. You know he's going to play hard every day.
Forsythe takes a strike, says Joe West. 1-2.
And he also is going to be a presence in the clubhouse. And as a leader who really does a lot of his leading by example. Nobody outworks Hunter Pence. And if you're a young player, you want to see how to succeed at the big league level, you watch Hunter Pence.
1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called.
Got some paint.
1 away.
So Hunter Pence, a Giant, 5 more years.
So that's the good news. And again, that comes with a proviso that nothing official has been announced about it. But it sounds like they're going to get it done, or that it has already been agreed upon. So, and I think the fact that he wanted to make the deal without going out, I'm sure his agent was not that excited about him not going out and finding out from all 30 teams maybe what he could get. That may not have been something his agent advised, but I think it does show how much he wanted to stay here, how much he likes it here. 2 down now. Jerko retired, and the cleanup man Headley comes up.
All right, time now for our Geico quote of the day. And this one comes from Hunter Pence. They said, "What's the secret to your success?" He says, "I crush kale." End of story.
Well, if he crushes it, I'm going to start crushing it.
Well, you crush it pretty well. You're kind of in the same club.
He probably crushes the kale, and then he doesn't crush all the other things that I crush. Maybe that's it.
Well, he's on the paleo diet and the caveman diet, and it served him well. I mean, as hard as he works, I mean, you would think that as hard as he plays, he might be subject to an injury. Not so.
Chase Headley back to the screen. 0-2 the count. 175 hits or more, 25 homers or more, 35 doubles or more, and 20 or more steals in a season. For the Giants, Mays, Cepeda, Barry Bonds, and now Hunter Pence here in 2013.
And that's an elite group. And that's something that I don't know if he even knows he is in that club, but it will be pointed out to him. And you know, the one thing we really have enjoyed being around Hunter Pence is just how humble he is. And when something arises like that statistic, he's moved by that. And he knows baseball history. And to be part of that group means something to him.
2-2 now to Headley. Last night on the radio, we had a chance to interview Hunter Pence. It was a big night all the way around for him, winning the Willie Mack Award. He was very excited. And I congratulated him on his career record for home runs. His 26th home run of the year he hit last night. That bested his career record by 1, and he didn't have any clue about that. And he said he really didn't care about things like that. He knew if he was doing well or he wasn't doing well, but he primarily is interested in helping the team win and doing what he can to do that. So, and when he says stuff like that, I believe him. So Hunter Pence, he had 3 straight years in Houston with 25 homers. No more, no less. 27 this year, playing half his games in a ballpark where it's tough to hit homers generally. That's into the gap for Headley. Perez tracks it down. Chase Headley is the first Padre to reach base since the leadoff man Denorfia hit a home run.
And that ends a streak of 11 consecutive Padre hitters being retired. Let's take a look at the swing from Headley. It's a beautiful swing. It's a knob lead, opposite gap. Swing of the bat. Watch the knob come through first, and then boom. The bat head follows right behind it. Very, very nice bat head control when he finds an opposite gap. And when you're backspinning the ball, let's go in the opposite gap. That's a perfect at bat.
Three to 1, the Giants lead it. Here's Medica, the rookie from San Jose and out of Santa Clara University, and he takes ball 1. He flied out to center his first time. Giants ahead 3-1 on the Hunter Pence 2-run 3rd inning homer that broke the tie. And back out of play. By the way, some fans already got word, I guess, before they came over. Unless they brought their printing material with them.
It was supposed to be kind of a mum's the word on it, and the next thing we know, it's going over the air on TV. So it's like, well, I guess we could talk about it.
Well, I asked Bruce Bochy about it on his radio pregame show, and he said, well, there's nothing been finalized. And there's the ball too high. 2-1 to Medica. Here's Bruce Bochy. You know, I asked him about that moment last year, something that became an indelible memory of the Giants' march to the World Series championship last year, which was Hunter Pence speaking to his teammates in the clubhouse the first day in Cincinnati when they were facing an elimination game. 2-2 the count. Bochy himself had given a talk to the team, trying to motivate them a little bit, tell them it's been done before. And he believed they were a team that could do it. And he, of course, was proved right. But he said Hunter Pence, there was nothing planned between he and Hunter. And Hunter got up and said he'd like to say something too. And that's when he made that first speech that got everybody so excited. There's a drive down the right field line and foul. Hit very hard by Medica, but foul. 2-2. And Bochy said that in the clubhouse that day that it was very stirring, but basically how much he loved everybody in the room, and he wasn't ready to say goodbye to him just yet. He wanted to see him again the next day. And he had some personal things to say about different guys. I want to see what this guy's going to wear tomorrow, because just when you think it can't get worse, it gets worse. Things like that. He had fun with it, got some laughs, but he also had sort of the zeal of a preacher in a way. And they wanted encores every day after that, and that became a big part of the Giants' march to the championship. Bounce foul. 2-2. Perhaps game 4 of this old piece of video.
Well, it became a ritual, and as superstitious as players are, once the routine is set, they did not want to vary. And he was in the middle every day.
2-2. And that curveball in the dirt. 3-2 the count. Although Bochy did point out also, he says, well, obviously we won, so you'd have to think that it worked, what Hunter did. He said, on the other hand, that first elimination game, the Giants went to the 10th inning and only had 1 hit.
And 16 strikeouts.
But somehow, despite the rather profound lack of offense, they won that game to stay alive. And they won the next 2 in Cincinnati as well. 3-2.
We went back in the offseason and thought about that series in Cincinnati 100 times. And every time you'd think it through, you walk away shaking your head as to how did they pull this off? And then they had another miracle in St. Louis.
Did it again.
Did it again.
and had to win 3 elimination games in a row. Part of the lore of the Giants now. And back to the screen. Still 3-2. Medica really battling here with Yusmeiro Petit.
Yeah, you watch the kid from the University of Santa Clara. He can cover that outside pitch, and he's not losing any balance in his legs. He's getting a lot of strength in those swings on those pitches that blow it away. And watch this guy, and it's easy to see why the Padres like him. He can hit.
He's had 3 home runs in the big leagues in 62 at bats. He homered in his very first major league game about a month and a half ago. Runner at second, 2 down. And he got a piece of that one to stay alive. Still 3-2.
And again, good balance. You haven't seen him out on his front foot at all. He's staying back well. And that may be the conversation that Hector Sanchez is going to have with Yusmeiro Petit, saying, listen, he's on everything, you're throwing hard. You might want to think about throwing something soft up there. If you walk him, big deal. This guy's on you. And that's when you take advantage of an open base. There's no reason to just keep pumping belt-high fastballs in here. This is not a challenge situation, even with a 2-run lead. Think corner here. This guy's got you dialed. He's timed to you. If you walk him, it's not the end of the world.
The 11th pitch on the way, and that is fouled. 3-2.
I like the location on that. Was right down there in the outside corner, knee high or below even. And the next pitch is going to be a number 12 in this duel between Medica and Petit.
Three and 2 the count. Had to hit a 2-out double away from second. Fastball, and that is also hit foul.
And that again, I mean, he's on it. You watch the setup of Medica. He's got a very quiet lower body, and that's what you want. You want slow lower body, fast hands. The important thing is getting that front foot down. He's done that every time, and he's getting a nice launch off that backside. I mean, he's timed to him.
This one is also fouled. 3-2.
Tried to go inside.
Petit has now thrown 25 pitches in this inning, and just a little over half of them just to Medica.
13.
Medica stands back in. And surely he's got a lot of friends and family in attendance, being from the Bay Area. 3-2 pitch. Up the middle, base hit. And Headley will come in to score. What an at bat that was by the rookie, Tommy Medica.
That was not a hanger either, John. That was a good pitch. That's one of the best at bats we've seen in a while. And you're taught with 2 strikes, what do? You go back up the middle, and that's knee-high outside corner. That is not a hanger. And he was timed to him the whole at bat, and he goes right back up the middle with it. And his reward is an RBI, and the Padres get to within 1.
And that was the first at bat of the day for the Padres with a runner in scoring position. And Medica was tenacious. 3-2 Giants. Here's Guzman. And that really buckled his knees, that breaking ball for a strike. Well, I think you said it somewhere in the middle of that marathon at bat that he was on everything, and it never seemed to change.
Well, I mean, those are things you see when you're on that mound looking at a hitter. You're able to see that back leg and you know where the bat head is in relationship to his waist. And if he's allowing that ball to get deep and he's getting a good backside throw into that barrel head, you know he's got you timed. And he threw everything at him. That's why it's like, ooh, this guy's got me down. Go to somebody else.
Just off the outside. 2-1 now to Guzman, who flied out deep to right his first time.
But, I mean, to the defense of Petit, I mean, he didn't hang anything. He made good location pitches. Whereas it's either going to be a perfect pitch or it's going to be off the plate. And in doing that, he neutralized the power of Medica. He didn't give him anything to drive over the wall.
2 balls and a strike. That ball is hit deep. Way back there. It is gone. A 2-run homer for Guzman, the former Giant. And now the Padres are ahead 4-3. The 30th pitch of the inning. Thrown by Petit, hit out of the ballpark by Guzman, his 9th home run this year.
Now, 30 pitches into the inning, that's going to bring David Getty out just to give Petit a little bit of a breather. I mean, remember, this was 2 quick outs. This was looking to be like a very quick inning. He had retired 11 in a row, and then all of a sudden now, this is 3 hits in a row, and here's a fastball middle in that Guzman just spins on. And he backspins it right out of here. A high home run. But this ballpark, without its wind, is playing small today, and the hitters are taking advantage of it.
And the Padres are going against type since they moved into Petco Park anyway. They're a home run hitting ball club. That's their 143rd home run this year. Now they've still hit more on the road than at home. Just about 1 a game on the road. 0-1 the count to Amarista.
4 home runs in last night's game, 3 in this game. When's the last time you saw back-to-back games in this ballpark where you saw 4 and 3 home runs hit?
The Giants hit all 3 of them last night. That's a base hit to right field. It's a never-ending inning for Petit, and it all goes back to Tommy Medica. We had the never-ending at-bat. I remember talking to Steve Carlton at a banquet after he had retired. An old teammate of yours, Mike.
Yes.
And a great pitcher, Hall of Famer. We were talking about finishing games because he finished a lot of games. He was from that era, and he would get a lot of complete games. He talked about Ron Hunt when Ron Hunt was with the Giants. And Ron Hunt, he said, always had at-bats like Medica just had against Petit. He said every time he came up there was going to be 10, 12, 13, 14 pitches. He said if it was the right time when Hunt would come up, he'd just drill him. He said, I drilled him, which he doesn't care about. Hunt got drilled more than anybody. He says, I just saved 12 pitches.
It's true. But there was no pitch count with Steve Carlton. In 1982, when I was his teammate, it was common that he would go over 150 pitches per game. And if he threw 165 pitches in a ball game, 90 of them would be sliders. And he was a machine. 2-pitch guy.
Up the middle, and that's going to go through, base hit. So Chris Robinson, the rookie catcher, singles to center. That is the 5th consecutive 2-out hit for the Padres as Cantos continues to heat up in the Giants bullpen, and Stultz, the pitcher, will come up. Petit had thrown 34 pitches total through 3 innings, and he's now thrown 34 just in this inning. Stultz grounded out to second his first time. Shallow right field. That's going to be in. Base hit. Amarista will score the throw in. Cut off by Pill. And it's 5-3 Padres. And this is the worst game as a starting pitcher that Petit has had, and that's going to be all for him here in the 4th inning.
Well, it's kind of a sad way for him to end the season because he's been so good. He just could. He made mention of the fact the Medica at bat took it out of him.
Bochy takes the ball. Cantos will be summoned. The leadoff man, Denorfia, coming up. 5-3 Padres, and we'll be right back.
Today, name the 4 times in Major League Baseball history that both World Series teams were from California. Let's think about that.
Say that again.
Name the 4 times in Major League Baseball history that both World Series teams were from California.
I know that one.
Well, you should.
But I can't say it out loud, right, Andy?
No, you would go to the woodshed.
Okay. But I could tweet it.
Yes, you can.
All right. How do I do that?
All right. Well, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. George Contos in now for the 51st time this year. And he inherits a runner at first and second, 2-out situation. 2-2 on the year with 4.58 ERA for Contos. And he will face the top of the lineup. The 9th hitter of the inning.
DeNorfia has homered over the center field wall as the first batter of the game. And he's flied out to center. That's a called strike. Five runs, 7 hits for the Padres. 4 of the runs and 6 of the hits from the last 6 batters to come up here in the 4th inning up till now. 0-2.
And that's his number 1 slider right there. Opened up the at-bat with an 88-mile-an-hour cutter, followed up with that good, hard slider. And with Contos, it's got a nice break to it. And like Sergio Romo, it's not the usual spin you see on a slider. He's got his own version of the no-dot slider.
2 strikes the count. Robinson, the catcher, at second. Stultz, who knocked in a run with a base hit, is at first. Four runs in. Along the right field line. Pence gives chase. That is just foul. DeNorfia over at first base. He can't believe it. He was looking right down the line. He thought for sure it hit on the line.
Well, Dave Roberts going to walk over to Quinn Wolcott, the first base umpire, and now Bud Black's going to come out and talk about it. Bud Black's reacting completely on the reaction of Dave Roberts, and that is right as close to the line as you can get, and that's why I think that Roberts is making an issue out of this. But you can see Wolcott, he had a look, thought about it. Foul ball.
If it hits any part of the foul line, it's a fair ball. And from the look, that last look we had, you could not say that it did hit. And even that look wasn't as good. Now, it did kick some dirt over onto the line, but did it actually hit that line, or is that dirt that got moved over to the line?
If I'm DeNorfia, I'm ragged. Seriously.
I'm
ragged.
going right out there and having a look at it when this inning's over. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the hardest thing when you have a bad break go against you as a hitter, and this is a bad break, I mean, that's a 2 RBI double taken away from you. You can't help but keep thinking about it if you're in that batter's box. I mean, you can't concentrate on the next pitch 100% because you're still fried.
1-2. And a sharp slider knocked down by Sanchez, keeping those runners right where they were. Robinson at second, Stultz at first. Five to 3, the Padres have gone ahead of the Giants with a 4-run rally here in the 4th. Struck him out. The side is retired. Giants now having to play catch up. Abreu coming up.
not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
All right, time now to ask and answer our AT&T trivia question today. The question is, name the 4 times in Major League Baseball history that both World Series teams were from California. Yeah, survey set. Well, 1974, that's when the A's beat the Dodgers. 1988, that's when the Dodgers beat the A's. 1989, that's when the A's beat the Giants. And 2002, that's when the Angels beat the Giants.
1974, that was my first year as a baseball broadcaster with Oakland. And there they were playing the Dodgers. It was... I'll never forget the first game at Dodger Stadium as Abreu takes a strike from Stultz. But, at the Coliseum, they'd always have the mule, Charlie O, the mule.
Yeah.
He'd be out on the field for the kids to pet and whatnot before games. There's a foul out of play. Now they're playing the Dodger Stadium, the Taj Mahal of baseball, right? And John Ramsey, the public address announcer, says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the center field gate. Here is Charlie O, the mule." And they wheeled him into Dodger Stadium. I thought, I can't believe it. That was the year the Dodgers had Mike Marshall. Had the most incredible year of any relief pitcher in history. To this day, he threw 206 innings all out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that's impossible.
He was the 7th inning guy, the 8th inning guy, and the closer, and sometimes the long man. If they needed a reliever, Mike Marshall got the call. 0-2 the count, and back out of play.
That really is one of the more remarkable years in the history of the game, is what Marshall did. And he won the Cy Young because of it.
He worked hard to get it, that's for sure. He appeared in over 100 games. I think it was 106 games, 108 games, whatever it was. That one may have hit right off the front edge of the plate.
All right, now watch the bat go right over the head of Joe West. Look out, Joe. And Joe West, he does not have a protective piece.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you.
I pushed the wrong cough button.
John Ramsey would not have done that.
I apologize so sincerely and vehemently. I must have pressed Dwayne Kuiper's cough button.
Hey, come on. It's game 161.
Yeah,
the guys in the truck thought you were doing sound effects for when the bat hit Joe West on the head.
I apologize to Joe West as well. 0-1 the count to Brett Pill.
Partner, you are never dull.
Looking for the cough button. I needed a sneeze button. 1-1 to Pill, who fouled out to first his first time. 5-3 Padres. That's hit well. Left center field. One hop up against the wall. Amarista plays the Karen, and Pill has a double. Now let's go down to Amy G.
All right, John, thank you so much. Hey, Buster's not in the lineup today, but he did take some time to do the final Buster Knows squat. It is up at csnbayarea.com. It's brought to you by Acura. He tells us about his off-season workout regimen. He prefers to be alone. Check out what he says. And per the fans' request, gentlemen, he addresses his wife's pet peeves about him. It is must-see web TV, csnbayarea.com. John?
Don't miss it.
I won't.
Buster, Buster doesn't like talking about himself that much. He likes talking about the game or things like that, but Amy G's got the touch, I guess, for him to open up and talk about some of those personal things, see a side you don't normally get to see. On the outside for a strike to Adrianza, Adrianza, who fouled out to first his first time. Last Sunday at Yankee Stadium, he realized a thrill when he hit a home run, his first as a big leaguer, and he hit it in the big ballpark in the Bronx. That's called a strike, right outside corner at the knees.
And that's a Joe West strike. You'll see a lot of those. Talk about Joe West strike zone, how it will be bigger early in the game. It tightens up as the game moves on. I think a lot of guys in his generation, when he first came up in 1977, they umpired games that way. It would be a big strike zone just to keep the game moving. And in about the 5th inning, it would tighten up. And Joe is one of those guys.
Two and two to Adrianza. Base hit could mean a run. Backing up for the true hop, Jerko, and he throws out Adrianza with Pill moving to third. 2 down, and now the Giants will pinch hit for Cantos with Francisco Peguero. And the Padres will conference at the mound. Darren Balsley out. The pitching coach with Stultz and the catcher Robinson. Five to 3, the Giants are trailing.
Jake Dunning in the Giants bullpen. He will pitch the 5th inning for the Giants.
Pill at third, 2 down. Wow. Like it was right in there. And he looked like he tried to launch it too, but he missed it.
Looked a little tardy on it. Hey, congratulations to Pittsburgh, who clinched home field advantage in the 1-game playoff in the National League wild card against Cincinnati.
They did it yesterday, and today just getting ready for the big 1-game playoff against the team they're going to be playing off against, the Reds, and they hit 6 home runs today. There is Amarista, and the inning is over. Pill with a 1-out double. He is stranded. And we head to the 5th inning. 5-3, San Diego. To win special prizes such as a margarita making class for 6 at Tres, the Giants World Champions mirror and shadow box from Anheuser-Busch, a Coors Light neon golf bag. Neon golf bag?
Yeah, you got to have them.
A Pixar Animation Studios VIP tour for 4 and a mini speaker system courtesy of AT&T. And tomorrow, one lucky fan will win the grand prize, a 2014 Toyota Corolla. Fan Appreciation Weekend, sfgiants.com. The finale tomorrow. Pretty good armada out in McCovey Cove today as Jake Dunning comes in. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
See the numbers, 28th time that Dunning has come in. He's done a nice job this year. He's on the map.
Padres scored 4 times in the 4th inning, and it happened when you might have least expected it. After Petit retired the first 2 hitters in the inning, and they retired 11 in a row. A ball and a strike. And then he never got another out. The Padres got 6 straight hits against him.
I think there's 2 times in the year that pitching coaches really fear innings where you throw a lot of pitches. April and September. April because you haven't quite yet built up your arm strength, and September because you don't have a lot of arm strength left. And once that at bat started to run long with Tommy Medica, I mean, it just looked like Petit never recovered from it. He could not get that last out.
2-1 to Forsythe. Did he go? An appeal from Sanchez? No. Quinn Wolcott, the first base umpire. Didn't think so. Like you were talking about how in the National League, the Pirates clinched the home field in that 1-game playoff with the Reds, the wild card game. Forsythe with a swing and a miss. 3-2. The only other thing still to be determined, we all know the teams that are going to be in. But the team that with the best record will play the team that wins that wild card playoff. And right now the Cardinals and Braves are tied for the best record.
Well, Bruce Jenkins made a great point in his article yesterday that he didn't like the 1-game playoff because of a scenario. Had the Pirates not won home field advantage, they've been waiting for 20 years to get in the playoffs, and their first playoff game is going to be home now. Granted, it could be their only one if they lose the 1-game playoff, but it would have been much worse if the 1-game playoff would have been in Cincinnati and they would have lost that.
Hunter Pence, 1 away.
I do think that's a bit of a flaw, but I still like this 1-card playoff. I don't think it should be an advantage to be a wild card team. I think you should have a price to pay, and I think the 1-game playoff is that price. But I definitely, if I was a Pittsburgh Pirate fan and waited 20 years to see my team get in the playoff, I probably would have a different feeling about it.
And the answer is still the same. A lot of Braves fans and a lot of Braves themselves complained about having to have that 1-game playoff last year after having such a good season, but they were a wild card. Well, that's the whole point. Don't be the wild card. Win the division.
Exactly.
That's the point of the second wild card and that 1-game playoff. An extra incentive to not have to play that game. Win the division. And I also, my answer when people say, wow, it's just not fair. And they were talking about Cleveland over in the American League is going for one of the wild card spots. Down the stretch, they're playing a lot of bad teams that are having terrible years. And their division is not as strong as maybe the division where Tampa Bay is playing. But my answer to that is the whole wild card concept is not fair. You didn't win first place. Why should you even be in the playoffs at all? It's a back door. So they made it more difficult if you're the wild card. Well, so be it. It's not about fair at that point. They have a little loophole where you could still make it even if you didn't win your division.
So true. And basically what it costs you if you're a wild card team is it costs you your ace. Your ace has to now be pitching in that wild card game.
2-2 the count. Oh, look at that. He barehanded it. And then made a low throw, and then he looked at his hand.
I guarantee that didn't feel good. I've been there, and it feels like it seems like a good idea at the time. But you do get sting, and if it catches any kind of a fingertip, that can definitely have an effect on your release, and you saw the low throw. But still a very cool play. He just put a big old bear claw on it. And now a closer look. One hopper. Foam. And it looked like it just caught palm. I think his fingertips are okay. But it's easy for me to say up here.
Can it take a moment to get the feeling back in the entire hand if you get one hit sharply like that back at you?
Take 4 days to get the feeling back if you catch a fingertip.
There's a called strike to Chase Headley. 2 down, nobody on.
1985, and we're in the first week of September in Houston. Had a comebacker just like that. I reached up and I hit it with my bare hand on the base of my thumb. Broke it. So it really was a ball hit just like that. It wasn't particularly hard. It wasn't a line drive. It was just a one-hopper. And you think, well, that's not going to do any damage. And I couldn't shake that for 6 weeks.
2-1 the count. Well, one thing, he's going to be a star in all the national highlight shows for the rest of the night.
Oh, yeah. And you can see the luxury of going back home and watching it. When you're a young pitcher, a rookie, that's very cool.
2-1 the count to Headley. Headley came up in the same spot in the 4th inning against Petit. 2 down, nobody on. Hit a double into the gap in left center, and that was the beginning of a 4-run rally. Now it's 3-1. By the way, Cleveland is leading Minnesota over in the American League 5-1 in the 6th. 3-2 the count now. And in the American League, they have 3 teams going for those 2 wild card spots. Cleveland is one of them. And then the Rangers and the Rays. The Rays lost in Toronto. The Rangers beat the Angels. And the Rangers and Rays are now tied for that 2nd wild card spot. Cleveland will be the number 1 wild card team by a game if they can hold on to their lead, Minnesota. Ball 4 to Headley. And there's a real possibility of there being a playoff come Monday. And there's even a possibility of there being a 3-way playoff come Monday. It could last a couple of days in the American League.
Stay tuned.
I'm kind of rooting for that one.
Well, now you're talking about a coin flip now. You play 162 games and you sit there and you look at a guy who's got a coin in your hand and it's going to determine your fate.
I think there's I did read something to the effect, and I may have it wrong. If there is a 3-way tie, they have the flip of the coin. If you win, you have an option. You can play right away at home. And if you win, you play the other team that didn't play at all at home. Or you could just sit and watch the other 2 teams play. But then you have to travel to the other team's ballpark for the 2nd game.
That's how I understand it. And that's fair.
I think you'd rather just have to win 1 game, home or road, than to win 2 days in a row.
I'd travel. But you literally would be doing what the Giants did last year in St. Louis. They were waiting in the airplane to see how the results of I guess we were in Cincinnati waiting for the Cardinals and the Nationals to finish their game. And when the Cardinals won, it meant that the Giants were able to fly back to San Francisco and have home field advantage against the Reds in that first playoff series.
Giants clinched the division series in the afternoon in Cincinnati. And it was a Wednesday or a Thursday, whatever it was. Spent that afternoon and evening and all the next day at the hotel waiting for that final game to play out. We didn't know it would go to the 5th game. But Washington extended it to a 5th game when Jason Worth hit a walk-off homer that Wednesday night. So the Giants waited around the next day as well. Finally went to the airport, and it looked like they were going to go to Washington. Washington had a big lead in that game. But by the time we got to the airport, that lead wasn't so big anymore. And we all sat watching it on iPads and whatnot on the MLB app in the plane.
That was really one of the best photographs that came out of last year's postseason. The team on the plane waiting to find out what the word was going to be.
I think one of those photos was by one of the Giants' PR people who had his phone, the camera in the phone, as Righetti goes out to the mound. Now he's walked 2 in a row ever since he caught that comebacker barehanded.
Well, I mean, think back how the inning started last inning when the Padres scored 4 runs. Yusmeiro Petit retired the first 2 outs in that inning, and then all of a sudden he could not get the last out. 6 consecutive hits knocked him out of the game. And this inning is starting out the same way. 2 quick outs, and now all of a sudden 2 walks. And Dave Righetti concerned. And Jose Mijares down in the Giants bullpen is up and starting to get heated up.
Mijares has not pitched in the game for a while. Two on, 2 out. Guzman, who hit a 2-run homer. That was the hit that put the Padres ahead in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 in the game. 2 on. And Dunning tried to find his control again after issuing 2 straight 2-out walks. Ball 1.
Yeah, I think his hand really was bothered more than we know when he caught that comebacker, because this is a guy who never has a problem throwing strikes, and all of a sudden now he's all over the place. I'm sure that was the question that Dave Righetti asked him. Are you all right? Well, rookies always tell you, yeah, I'm fine.
1-1. This is the home run by Guzman in the 4th against Petit.
Fastball middle in. High, towering drive. And for Guzman, home run number 9.
Two and 1.
And if you're sitting on 9 home runs, you got 2 games left in the season. You're trying to hit 10. And you're going up there, taking your at bat with that idea in mind.
He'd love to do it against the Giants. Moreover, team with which he originally signed. It came through the minor league system. Got the call on the outside. 2-2. A glorious day here in the Bay Area. Does make it kind of bittersweet here because it feels like the middle of summer. Watching the summer game. But the baseball season is going to end for the Giants and Padres tomorrow. Left center field. In front of Perez. He's going to throw all the way through to the plate. The tag. He's out.
Wow.
What a throw by Juan Perez. And that just came out of nowhere. Headley not happy with the call.
Joe West making the call.
Into the inning, and let's take another look at that throw. What a play it was. Nobody even set up for a throw. I think they just thought it was a given the run would score.
And we saw him make a great throw in last night's ball game. He does the same thing here. And this guy just doesn't believe there's anything he can't do with his arm. A one-hop strike right to Hector Sanchez, who puts the swipe tag on. And Joe West right there to compliment the play. And that's huge. 8 outfield assists this year for Juan Perez. And that leads the Giants. And he hasn't been here not even half the year.
This is his 33rd game.
Amazing.
And he hadn't played the outfield in all of those games. Some of them he just came in as a runner or a pinch hitter. Here's another look. Take a look in slow motion. There's the tag.
And I think Joe West got it right from that angle. And that's the angle that he was looking at.
Kind of reminds you of the call in the World Series on the play at the plate. Buster Posey tagging Prince Fielder.
Yeah, that was a huge play as far as momentum and just believing you could win that series for the Giants.
Pagan with a count of 2-2 facing Eric Stultz. Pagan almost hit a leadoff homer in the first inning. Hit one off the top of the wall in left field for a double. He grounded to short his last time. He's 1 for 2. 5-3, the Giants are trailing. Still 2-2.
You know, and that's the type of play that can bring momentum to your bench. All right? Giants fourth inning just had kind of a quiet fourth. They had a double, but really didn't do much with it. And all of a sudden, you start to see momentum going over, staying on that Padres side. A play like that brings it right back into your dugout. Now they need to score.
3-2. Perez on deck. But you know, usually when there's going to be a play at the plate like that, guys set up. They set up cutoff. All kinds of different guys move to position. And it looked like everybody just assumed, well, there's no play. Nobody's setting up for a throw to the plate. Perez is the only guy who thought he could do it. Base hit for Pagan.
And that's a start. That keeps the momentum going.
Second hit for Angel Pagan. And here is Perez. The Giants, by the way, since Pagan came back from the disabled list, their record is 16-11. Going back to the end of August when he played his first game back. He hasn't played all those games. Giants also, going back to the 8th of September, have won 12 of their last 18 games. Perez into center field, but right to Amarista, waiting for it. And one away, so Perez is 1 for 3. Had an infield hit in front of Hunter Pence home run back in the 3rd inning. Perez is going quickly. And here comes Hunter Pence. Going back to the 3rd, Mike. Hit this one pretty well.
Fastball out of the plate and up. And that has been his happy zone. And he just does not miss it. And you make a mistake up there.
27 homers now for Pence. 96 runs batted in. Called a strike on the inside. Framed beautifully by Robinson, the catcher. Hunter Pence, who never had hit more than 25 homers in a season, now at 27. There is Amarista. Not this time for Pence. 2 down. And Pablo Sandoval will come up. Mijares, the left-hander, heating up in the Giants bullpen. We're in the last of the 5th. And the Padres are going to get a little action going in their bullpen. Tim Stauffer and Nick Vincent both run down to the right field bullpen. Pablo has doubled home run. He got a clutch 2-out RBI double in the 1st inning, and then he singled in the 3rd. 2 for 2. One ball, no strikes. Sandoval now has 12 hits in 21 career at bats, as you see Vincent and Stauffer on the right in the Padres bullpen. 12 hits, 21 at bats. That's pretty good. It's a long history of success against one pitcher. Down the left field line. Guzman shading the eyes into foul ground. And he's got it. One hit, one left. On to the 6th inning. Amarista coming up. Trip to spring training in Scottsdale next spring. Giants Vacations offers the most unique behind-the-scenes spring training fan experience available. Multiple packages to choose from, including the popular Giants Senior Package. All Giants spring training packages sold out last year, so make sure you book your reservations today. 1-800-670-0858 or sfgiants.com/Giants Vacations.
Well, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Jose Mijares, the new pitcher now for Bruce Bochy. 60th time that he has run out there. With Mijares, you're going to see a low 90s fastball, slider, and a curveball.
Amarista 1 for 2. Lefty all the way. Takes a called strike on the outside. And it's a ball and a strike. By the way, when we came back from the commercial, we were looking at some of our friends who work on our Giants telecasts on NBC Bay Area during the season. Joined the game here today at AT&T Park. One and two to Amarista. Robinson, the catcher, on deck, and then Stultz, the pitcher, due up third. Right there, outside corner, strike 3 called. Amarista knew it.
Ooh, that was a snapping breaking ball right there. That was nasty. Goes in late and just explodes right to the glove like it was seeking it out. And, we've been watching Amarista, or Mijares rather. He went through about a 3.5-4 week period where his breaking balls were lazy and it looked like his arm was tired. He's gotten some rest. And clearly it has paid dividends because that had some good snap to it.
Robinson right to Agrianza. 2 down. Robinson now 1 for 3. And Stultz will come up. Stultz is a pretty good hitting pitcher, and he knocked in a run in the 4th inning with a single. He's had 10 hits in 60 at bats this year, including a double, a homer, and 4 runs batted in.
You're hitting $167 as a hitter, as a pitcher, this deep in the season. you can hit.
5 runs, 8 hits for the Pods. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Giants. Giants at one point led 3-1 until the Padres' 4-run 4th inning. Fastball at 91. That was the other thing. That fastball was 87, 88 there for the last few times we saw it before the layoff. Two and one. Two and two.
Definitely sitting on a fastball.
Right there, strike 3 called, and that's the inning. Very strong inning for Mijares. 10 pitches and out. Sanchez coming up for the Giants.
Sixth inning, time now for our McDonald's True Stories in this date in Giants history. We go back to September 28th, 1987. That's when the Giants clinched the division. Let's listen to Ron Fairley as he makes the call.
The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, fly ball to left field. Back goes Leonard. He's at the track. He makes the catch, and the Giants have won the Western Division. And on the field go the Giants. And the Giants are the champs.
Mike Krukow walking in as the celebration was about to begin in earnest in that clubhouse.
It was a good one, too, that night, I'll tell you. Everybody meant it.
Don Robinson, who went 5 innings in that game, hit a home run. That broke a 4-4 tie in the 8th inning as Hector Sanchez fouls one out of play. 0-1 the count. Hector is 0 for 2 in this one. That was Don Robinson's first home run with the Giants. He got his 11th win of that year. He pitched in relief of Dave Dravecki.
The caveman. And that last out, I mean, John Kruk was an amazing opposite field hitter. We thought he hit it out. And at the time, we were leaking oil a little bit. But like I said, when the party began, we partied like we meant it.
And you went into the League Championship Series against the St. Louis Cardinals, Whitey Herzog's club. And the Giants, at that time, you and the Cardinals had a pretty fierce rivalry.
We did, and I mean, that was a hard-fought series.
Shallow center, Jerko in, and here's Amarista calling him off. One away. Let's go to Amy G.
All right, John. Well, Bruce Bochy mentioned yesterday that he's going to give his horse Matt Cain a well-deserved rest, and he will not be starting the final game of the season tomorrow. Instead, Guillermo Moscoso gets the nod. And gentlemen, Jeremy Affeldt back in the clubhouse today after undergoing a sports hernia surgery. He's been in a lot of pain, but he said he's finally starting to feel better. They're hoping that this surgery will help him with the groin struggles that he's been battling all season. John?
All right, thanks. Amy G. By the way, when we were in New York facing the Mets, who have a pitcher, Dylan G.
Yes.
A lot of people want to know if Dylan G. of the Mets and Amy G. of our television crew here are related. But Dylan G.'s name is spelled G-E-E. Amy G.'s name is spelled G. Just want to clear that up.
Well, I think it needed clearing.
No relation whatsoever. Not even close to the same last name. There's a foul out of play by Abreu. 0-2 the count. Both bullpens are busy. Abreu, who has popped out and struck out against Stoltz. 1-2. Heath Hembry, the right-hander, up in the Giants bullpen. Here's Amarista again. And 2 down. Couple of fly balls to shallow center. For 2 outs, and here is Brett Pill. Nick Vincent is up in the Padres bullpen alongside Willie Blair, former Major League pitcher, who's the bullpen coach. And with a lot of teams, including the Giants, that bullpen coach is now quite commonly a former pitcher who also acts as a second pitching coach. 0-1 to Brett Pill.
Well, that's the way it is here in San Francisco. And Dave Liggetti's responsibilities really are the starting staff. Mark Gardner's responsibility is the bullpen. And you got 2 guys that are extremely knowledgeable about the art of pitching. And best friends, I might add. You won't see Liggetti without Gardner on the road and vice versa. Sit next to each other on the plane. Great friends. Always have been. And Dave Liggetti, I mean, this is his 14th year. And that's a long tenure for a coach. He's done a great job. They both have. As have all the Giants coaches. You know, Bruce Bochy has put together one of the best staffs in baseball. And they've had a great year. And that man right there will be the first one to tell you about it.
Out of play. 3-2 now to Brett Pill, who has fouled out the first and doubled the left center. Giants are trailing 5-3 here in the last of the 6th. Dwayne Kuiper will be coming back for the 7th inning from the radio side. Stoltz couldn't get it. Forsythe does. Inning over. So I'm heading back to radio. Mike, very nice to see you, as always.
Thanks for stopping by.
On to the 7th, top of the order coming up for the Padres.
See you, Sneezy. dealer. For the Padres, 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. The Giants, 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Eric Stoltz has been solid through 6 innings. Yusmeiro Petit, he retired 12 hitters in a row, and then all of a sudden he gave up 6 hits in a row, and it knocked him out of here. Jesus Guzman, the big blow, a 2-run homer, his 9th of the season. Hunter Pence, a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning for the Giants. That was home run number 27, and that's your Toyota game summary. Right now, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. The new pitcher for the Giants will be Heath Hembree. It is 5-3. Padres top of the 7th. Here again, Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, Mike, it's Denorfia facing Hembree. And a strike. Always nice to throw that first pitch when you're coming out of the bullpen to impress Joe West a little bit, and that one did.
Just to let him know you're throwing strikes today.
That's exactly right. Denorfia homered in the first. He's flied out and struck out. Sandoval to his left and in. Got him.
That's out in the Cove, and that is a poster that says Giants home clubhouse staff best in baseball. Murph, Ron, Joe, Dom, Marco, Brandon, Wayne, Rob. I cannot disagree with that. Miguel Murphy has put together a great team. And once again, we say congratulations, fellas, for a fantastic season.
Yep, absolutely. All right, I want to know whose kid that is.
Got to be Alioto's kid.
It's 1-0 to Logan Forsythe. This one dinged to Hector Sanchez. So everybody's going to give Hector some time.
That's all you need is a little time.
It's not a safe place behind that dish.
Now let's see, where did it hit?
See, I could never catch because I would totally blame the pitcher. I mean, I get he didn't do it on purpose, but it's like
you would have to get over that.
I know I would, but I would be timid. Out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike.
A guy up here with a Padre uniform on, a Tony Gwynn Padre uniform on with his glove, made a nice play.
And the key to that is he brought his glove. One ball and 2 strikes. Jed Jerko to follow. Got him.
Fastball inside. Grab some pine meat.
He's not afraid to throw inside, huh?
He is not. And if you look at his delivery, he's got a very compact delivery. Nice arm slot he's been able to repeat. And that's a strike throwing machine.
And Joe West is a friend.
And he is a friend. But remember, though, he let him know in the first pitch he's going to throw strikes. And that first pitch may have gotten him that one.
I'm telling you. Here's Jerko. Jerko's 0 for 3. He will take a wicked hack. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, the Padres this year all about the home run. And you think, wait a second, the Padres home runs? Well, yeah, they've hit 154 coming into today's ball game. And they've tacked 2 on top of that, 156 on the year, and that ranks them amongst the leaders in the league.
This will come down eventually, and hopefully somebody's got a glove, because if not, it's going to hurt somebody.
I mean, think about this. The only teams that the Padres trail home run-wise as a team, Cincinnati, that's a bandbox. Milwaukee, that's a bandbox. Arizona, that's a bandbox. And Chicago, that's a small ballpark. Ranking 5th in the National League, the Padres in a big ballpark.
It's a bandbox now. What are you talking about? Embry, a nice inning. 2 strikeouts. Giants are coming up. Five-3 lead. Stay tuned immediately after Giants baseball for Esurance Giants postgame live. Highlights, reaction, analysis. It's all coming up right after the game. Adrianza is popped out. He's bounced out. Here he takes wide. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to the young shortstop, who looks like he can play a little bit. Off the end of the bat, foul, 1-2. When he hit the home run off of Andy Pettitte to break up, was it a perfect game?
Yeah,
I think it was. I was shocked.
So was Andy Pettitte.
Shocked. It went into the seats, and I was like, seriously?
What?
He got him on the inside corner.
All right, time now for our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. And take a look at the best records in the National League West. Well, that would be your Giants coming into this one. They're 43-31, and nobody else can even claim to be over 500 on the year. So the Giants have once again dominated in the National League West. However, the National League Central was a different story. Giants against the National League Central, somewhat of a disaster. 11-23.
What?
12 games under 500.
Wow. Here's Crawford. And a called strike. Crawford hitting .250.
Big at bat here. I'm rooting for him hard. Difference between 250 and 249, it's a big difference.
On the ground, Forsythe. Got him.
All right, Sharks hockey is back. Sharks taking on the Canucks opening night. Returns Thursday, October 3rd. Pregame live, 6:30 p.m. You'll see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Comcast Sportsnet California, the home of Sharks hockey, is Comcast Sportsnet.
So here's Pagan with 2 outs. Stultz has been really good. He gave up the early runs, but then after that, he allowed a hit in the 4th, a leadoff single in the 5th, and he's been terrific. Pagan takes a strike. He is just painting.
And he's pounding that inside corner. He knows he's getting some room out there. Joe West has really given that inside corner and a little bit off the corner inside of these righties. It's been called a strike all day, and Stultz right all over it. Hard stuff in, soft stuff away.
So Pagan back in the box. He's 2 for 3 this afternoon. Out of play. One-two pitch to Pagan. Pagan on the ground to third. Headley's got it. Headley right over the top. Side retired. And another 1-2-3 inning for Stultz. 8th inning coming up.
Deep last night, and if you're wondering why it looked so strange, it's because it was. Javier Lopez has never allowed a home run in AT&T Park as a San Francisco Giants pitcher. Gentlemen, as a San Francisco Giants pitcher with the home run last night, he's only allowed 2. The other came off of Pedro Alvarez last year in Pittsburgh. Pretty incredible stats. He's faced 605 batters in regular season, 29 in postseason. He's only allowed 2 home runs. Gentlemen?
5-3, he's the favorite. Oh, by the way, Amy G will be signing her book, Smarty Marty, Second and King, Giants Dugout Store by the Cepeda statue, after the game. Stop by and see her. When it's time for a change, think Speedy, oil change and tune-up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Gene Machi, 51st time that he's taken the ball. 50 strikeouts in 52 innings pitched. And 56 base runners in 52 innings. I mean, those are all great numbers. That are an extremely good year.
Headley takes a strike. Headley's been on base twice. He's also thrown out at home trying to score on a base hit by Guzman in the 5th inning. There's a line drive into right field, a base hit.
Well, fans, get rewarded on your tickets when you sign up for StubHub Fan Rewards before you buy. Plus, you'll get the chance at complimentary seat upgrades and perks. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the San Francisco Giants.
I'm sure you and John talked about this while I was over on the radio side, but Medica's at bat, I don't know, it was 14, 12, I don't know, it was a considerable amount. Really wore down Petit. He never got anybody out after that.
It did wear him down, and we did talk about it.
And, tell you what, over on the radio side, it wore me down.
It's a lot to ask of a guy in April to have a long inning, and in September. Those are the 2 months where you're most vulnerable. You don't have the same type of strength in your arm that you do in the other 4 months of the season.
There's a strike. Medica in that at bat eventually got a base hit. You know, all the foul balls that he had, when you think about it, any one of those he puts in play and out, you don't give up any runs. That was the second hit of 6 straight hits in the 4th. Really hasn't been a Giants-Padres game if Luke Gregerson isn't in the game. Shocked that there was a game last night and he didn't get in. And that pitch is high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
There's our ball dude. That is Steve Yanaga on the first base side. Cheryl Boykins is over on the third base side today. There's Cheryl.
Here's the 1-1, and Medica swings and misses 1-2. Guzman is on deck.
Yeah, that last split he threw, I mean, that's as good as you can throw a split.
And that pitch is high, so it's 2-2. Outfield straightaway, they're actually cheating in towards the gap. The lines have been given to Tommy Medica.
He's been impressive. I like this guy's swing.
Very close and a full count.
Just a wee bit high. Not a surprise though. Joe West, a low ball guy.
Gardner headed down out of the dugout as Mike Kickham hits the baseball. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. Swinging a shot off the glove of Machi. It rolls into right field. Headley will end up at third. So now Machi in trouble with runners at the corners. And the hitter will be Jesus Guzman.
Mike Kickham starting to get heated up. It's always a challenge for a relief pitcher when you have to pitch back-to-back days when it's a night game, day game. On that second day, that day game after the night game, you really have to rely a little more on location than you do stuff.
Swing and a miss by Guzman. He's got 2 hits. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. He hit the 2-run home run off of Petit in the 4th inning. And a call strike, and when Sanchez doesn't catch it, it always makes that home plate umpire look bad.
And I guarantee Joe West is giving him an earful right now.
I mean, it just makes it look like, from the people behind home plate, it makes it look like the pitch is in the dirt. So it's 0-2. Not close. 1-2.
Really flew that front shoulder. Fly the front shoulder, you're not going to get as high with your arm slot. It's going to be a little bit lower than it normally is. And in doing that, you really put sling in your delivery. And when that happens, you lose command of the baseball.
Guzman out swinging. Good strikeout for Muskie. Here's Amarista.
With the slider, and you got Guzman to chase. They know he will go out of the zone, especially low. And here he can't hold up, and he's a victim.
Amarista is 1 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a single. And he looks at a strike, and it's 0-1. The catcher for the Padres is on deck, Chris Robinson. Double play ball. And a quick toss. Got him. Nice turn by Adrianza and Abreu to keep the Padres off the board here in the 8th.
To you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
It is the bottom of the 8th. Padres have led 5-3 since the 4th inning.
Luke Gregerson, the new pitcher now for the Padres, and he has been a workhorse once again. One of the most consistent slider pitchers we've seen come out of the bullpen in a long time, and that's what you're going to see. A lot of quality sliders, and it's a strikeout slider. Fastball right around 90. 62 strikeouts in 64 1/3. He's got 4 saves on the year. 6-8 with a 2.80. That's a good, solid season when you talk about a guy coming in for the 72nd time.
Raymond Fuentes is now in center field. Is Juan Perez to lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 Padres. Gregerson taking over for Stoltz. Amarista moves from center field to short.
That's a commodity right there. An athlete can do that for you. Not many of those guys around.
Popped up right side of the diamond for Jerko. 1 out. I remember one of the big stories growing up was the Tigers in the World Series. In 1968, they had a manager by the name of Mayo Smith. He pulled the center fielder in during the World Series. Remember Mickey Stanley?
Yeah.
He pulled him in out of center, and he played short in the World Series. Not an exhibition game. Not a meaningless game in September in the World Series. As Pence fouls it out of play.
Now, did you appreciate that as much as a kid that you do now?
No, I thought it was pretty. I remember thinking that it was pretty amazing, but now you'll never see that happen again in a World Series. Ever.
No, I don't believe you will. Although you could with Amarista.
Pence taps it to Amarista. So Pence, who had the home run in the 3rd, he's now 1 for 4, and here's Sandoval.
Yeah, and usually when you see infielders transition to the outfield, they go to the corners. And not many of them take on center field. That's why, I think one of the more remarkable athletes we've ever seen is Craig Biggio. Came up as a catcher, all-star catcher. Went to second, all-star gold glove catcher, gold glove second baseman, and then he went to center field.
Robin Yount.
Robin Yount did it.
I think Robin Yount won an MVP at both positions.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing.
Here's Sandoval.
And you know what they do with guys like that? They put them in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they get their votes, don't they? As they should. 1-0 to Sandoval. 2 for 3. And he takes a strike. Way outside, 2 balls and a strike. A little low for Joe West. 3-1. The Giants would love to get the tying run to the plate here in the 8th, especially with a guy like Sanchez who can knock one into the pond. 3-1. And Sanchez is going to get a shot at it. Hector Sanchez, hitting right-handed today, is 0 for 3. This will be his first at bat left-handed. He had one of the most exciting hits of the year with the 2-out home run in Washington, D.C. to win a game in the 9th inning.
That was a good one.
when you think about the Nationals as they made a bit of a run at the end. A game like that really hurts them. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Soriano, their closer, really had a couple of tough outings. None tougher than that one. Romo getting loose along with Kickham. Hector Sanchez finds himself a bit behind in the count, 0-2. The pitch. Got him on 3 pitches. 9th inning coming up. Gregerson does a great job. It remains 5-3 Padres. As we go to the 9th, it's a 5-3 lead for the Padres. And the new pitcher is the kid, Michael Kickham.
Kickham coming into his 11th game, 0-3 with a 9.22 ERA. But the last several times he's come out there out of the bullpen, he's been fantastic. When he's right, you're going to see 4 pitches, fastball, low 90s, curveball, slider, and a good changeup. Really has been a difference maker in his look. And it may be that his future is in the bullpen. He's always been a starter in his minor league career.
So here's Robinson. Robinson is 1 for 3. And a strike.
And there is that changeup right out of bed. Got a lot of confidence in that pitch.
Popped up to the right side of the diamond. Abreu. 1 out. All right, Sportsnet Central after Giants post-game live. Giants clubhouse reaction. Terrell Pryor, is he going to be ready to go against Washington? And let's talk about the Warriors. And the training camp is going to open soon. Here's Venable. Sandoval is in on the grass at third. And where does Venable hit it? Right down the third base line. And Maxon Molly's kid comes off the bench and swings at the first pitch. And that'll bring up Denorfia. Something must be wrong with Will Venable. He's being taken out of the game. So Alonso's going to pinch run. So there's Yonder Alonso. Denorfia opened up the game with a home run, and that's it. He's 1 for 4.
Yeah, first at bat, you hit a home run, take on dead center field, and he hit it right over the 399 sign. You're going to be thinking this is going to be a good day. Watch him coming out. And right about now, he starts to get a little bit of a hitch.
Yeah, well, I think that hitch was there before the game. I mean, he figured he was going to play against Yasmero Petit, but he was not in the lineup. Up the middle, and a base hit for Denorfia. And here's Perez's throw again, and it's not held onto by Sanchez. And coming in to score is Alonso.
I don't even think if he would have been able to hang on to it, they would have been able to get him this time. But you got to like the confidence that Perez has in his arm. The bat right back up the middle, as you'll so often see Denorfia do. And here he comes, and it's Pagan. I beg your pardon, not Perez.
I don't know, Mike. They may have had him.
Yep, you're right. And looking at that angle, I think you're right.
So here's Fuentes. Breaking ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Fuentes, another guy who the Padres are very high on, especially defensively.
And Denorfia is going to go, and he'll steal it standing up. How many times you steal third standing up?
Especially with a left-handed hitter up.
So you think that Mr. Kickham forgot about him?
Well, I mean, as soon as he turned his head, Denorfia was gone, and that's just a veteran player taking advantage of a rookie. And what happened there, Kickham got predictable. Came set, 1 look, go. Came set, 1 look, go. Came set, 1 look, and Denorfia was gone.
Foul out of play in the 2-0 pitch.
If you watch pitchers out of the stretch, especially young pitchers, with a runner at second base, they'll come set, and the very first time that they come home, they'll give 1 look. They'll start with the 1 look. Now maybe they'll come set the next time and they'll go with 2, whatever. That first time, it's usually 1 look.
Look out. My goodness.
And it's a great tip if you're a base runner. And you got a little gamble in you. That guy comes set. As soon as he turns his head, looks at you. As soon as he turns his head, you go. And you'll steal it like Denorfia did. Watch the screamer. Heads up.
Dangerous.
Too late in the season to get winged like that.
Absolutely. Three and 2. Tapped fouls if Fuentes stays alive. The run here in the 9th makes it a 3-run lead. Houston Street in the bullpen getting loose. And it's past the diving Adrianza for a base hit. And Fuentes with a single and an RBI.
And as soon as that swing of the bat made contact and the ball went to left field, the closer, Houston Street, stop throwing, and his day is over. And Nick Vincent, he will pitch the ninth now that the Padres have a 4-run lead.
Here's Jerko. Ball gets away. And this is an inning now that we kind of like to forget about.
Well, it's starting to look like spring training. It's getting sloppy.
Well, here's what you didn't want to. You play a nice, clean game. You get to the ninth. And what are the people going to remember when they walk out of the park?
That.
They're going to remember a sloppy ninth inning. Jerko, a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fuentes at second. Hit well into left center field. This one's going to go. It is gone. Jerko with his 22nd of the year. And now it has gotten away from the Giants.
I tell you one thing the Padres have been able to do today is string some hits together. They strung 6 together in the 4th. They've strung 4 together here in the 9th. And it's all happened so quickly. Mike Kickham, he's got to be feeling a little dizzy. They're going to come out. They set up on the outside corner. This thing cuts down right middle in knee high. And for Jerko, that is a gift. He's got just a slight uppercut. I think Jerko's swing is built for lefties. I do.
Well, I know this. He can be dangerous. Here's Headley. Headley wraps one to left. Perez will put it away. So here's Tommy Medica. Medica's had a couple of hits, an RBI. It's 9-3. Padres. One ball and no strikes.
Medica letting out some shaft at a 1-0 count. Why not? Hitting's been contagious for these Padres.
Two balls and a strike to Medica. Petit, Cantos, Dunning, Maharis, Hembry.
What's going on, bro?
Machi, Kickham. What happened to Petit was pretty bizarre. 3-1. He retires the first 2 hitters in the 4th. Headley a double on a 3-2 pitch, and then Petit threw an enormous amount of pitches to Tommy Medica. There's a shot into left center field. That's a base hit.
Kid can hit. This is a 14th round selection by the Padres in 2010. That's how they got him. They drafted him out of Santa Clara. Went to high school at Bellarmine Prep. His minor league numbers hit over 295 through his minor league career, and he just went right up the ladder this year, starting in the lower leagues, got to AAA. I mean, combined, he had 20 home runs and 65 RBIs in the minor leagues, and here he is in the big leagues. This kid looks like he's here to stay.
Here's Guzman. Guzman with a base hit to left field. Well, if Kickham looks down to the bullpen, there ain't anybody up.
And that may be what Hector Sanchez is going to run out there and tell him. Second inning today, the Padres have had a 6-hit inning.
Amarista, the 9th Padre hitter to hit. Chris Robinson's on deck. He was the first hitter, and he made an out. No balls and 1 strike. On the ground. Everybody's safe. What could go wrong has gone wrong, and the manager is just taking his hat off, and that's not good.
Never a good sign. And we always talk about a routine ground ball. I mean, this is what it looks like off the crack of the bat. Watch the exchange. It goes right up, and once that happens, you're not going to get a second chance.
Here's Robinson. Robinson rolls it foul. The 4th inning in the 9th inning. The innings that would not end.
Yeah, Robinson just took a swing and lost his feet. That's never a good sign. Pitchers don't appreciate that.
0-2. Four runs in for the Padres here in the 9th. And this is rolled foul.
So Mike Kickham looking for the pitch that ends it.
Thank you, Joe West. And that'll end the inning. Bottom of the 9th coming up. They're back.
I love those guys.
Game Live will start at 12:30. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock, and you can see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Here it's a 9-3 lead.
New pitcher now for the Padres will be Nick Vincent. And here is what he has done. 6-3 with a 2.20 ERA. He has more strikeouts than walks. Just 40 base runners allowed in 45 innings. I mean, those are good numbers. How does he do it? Well, he's got a high 80s fastball. He'll 2 and 4 seams. He's got a cutter that he'll throw a lot. And a changeup. So basically you're going to see a lot of cutters and a lot of changeups.
Here's a pitch outside to Abreu. Brett Pill is on deck. It's 9-3 Padres. 2 innings have done the Giants in today. That would be the 4th and the 9th. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Giants up there, down 6, taking a first strike, which most teams will do.
Off the glove of Headley, and the throw to first by Amarista is going to be an error.
And that's just a young player's error. And really no chance of getting him. And you take a risk for really no reason. And with a 6-run lead, why subject yourself to an error? Watching Abreu running down the first base line.
Really giddy up at the end.
Yeah, a little hitch.
So here's Pill. Outside to Pill. Adrianza's on deck. High foul down the right field line and out of play. So Vincent takes a peek at second, and Pill pops it up. Should be playable. And Medica puts it away. Pill will end up 1 for 4 tonight. And here's Adrianza. Adrianza hitless in 3 at-bats. He's 3 for 16 on the season. And he takes a strike. Gregor Blanco has grabbed the bat. He's on deck.
Still learning, this young player, but we're excited about what we see. He gives you a lot to like.
And that's dribble foul. Sometimes a small sample size certainly isn't going to be enough to really form a solid opinion about a young guy. But, I mean, the one thing you can see is they've all got it in them somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, and 2. Book on Adrianza. coming into this season was he was all glove, no hit. He had 240 in 73 games in Double-A and 310 in 45 games in Triple-A. So that dispels a little bit of that notion.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with strength level. I'm talking with Dave Greshner about Adrianza. I mean, he was a 150-pound athlete a year and a half ago. Now they put about 15 pounds on him. They want to get him up to around 173, 175, and it'll make a difference with his hitting.
And he lifts another pop-up out of play. Gregor Blanco to follow. This game for the Giants looked like it was going to be all right. They led 3-1 after 3. Then I went over to the radio side and everything fell apart. So I'll take the heat.
Well, I think you should. But I applaud you for going over there and doing that whole inning by yourself, because that was a long inning.
Yeah, how'd John do over here, by the way?
Oh, yeah, he allowed 9 base runners, 6 hits, 4 runs.
Three and 2 now to Adrianza. It's a little sad when you're working on radio alone and Tommy Medica's at bat. All the things you prepared for. This is foul down the right field line. And in one at bat, you use everything you got. And now you're empty. Your bullets are gone.
Was that about a 14 pitch at bat?
Yeah. And Headley had an at bat before that was fairly long.
Let's take a look at the play. Oh, yeah. That played perfectly. Bring your glove. Be a hero. Atta babe.
Show your boiler. Atta babe.
And you get a hug.
3 and 2.
She knows talent.
And the walk.
Nice at that.
Clearly, Vincent wanted no part of Adrianza. Here's Blanco.
Why would he? Come on.
Gregor Blanco, the pinch hitter. Blanco hitting .267. And he looks at a strike. Vincent at the belt. Blanco hits it high and foul in a souvenir down the left field line. 41,000 today.
Fans this year have been absolutely amazing. This is Fan Appreciation Weekend. A lot of nice prizes given out, and then we'll continue tomorrow, where a brand new Toyota Corolla will be given out to a lucky fan.
We're ineligible, I assume.
That's true.
Yeah. Blanco, strike 3 call. And here's Pagani. I've been in the spot where you do this as a pinch hitter.
Fastball at the belt.
And you literally think as you're walking back, I waited around. I got to the ballpark at 8:30 and I've waited all that time to do that.
Yes, you did.
And that hacks me off. Here's Pagan. Pagan has a couple of hits. He's going to roll this one. Knocked down by Medica, and the bases are loaded. And Brandon Belt's coming up. All right.
Well, wouldn't it be something?
It's got to be a hit, right?
That's what I'm going with. And I'm not taking my eraser to the mark I have in my book.
I agree. So here's Belt. Belt's having a fine season. 287. 17 home runs. He hit his 17th last night. 65 RBIs. He can pad those numbers with a base hit or a big fly right here. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it out of play. At third is Abreu. At second is Adrianza. At first is Pagan.
First pitch cutter. Nick Vincent's bread and butter. That's exactly what he opened up the at-bat with. I'm sure that Belt's going to see it again. Two-seam fastball with movement away. So two back-to-back nice pitches. One with movement going in on his hands. One with movement going away.
So it's 0-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him to end the ball game. So game 2 of this series, it goes to the Padres. Padres with a couple of big innings, and that is all they needed to win game 2.
Well, two sloppy innings. It really led to the Giants' demise. A 4-spot in the 4th, a 4-spot in the 9th. And a disappointing afternoon for a full house. But Giants have one more tomorrow, and they can win the series.
All right, final score, Padres 9, Giants 3. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews in the Rapids coming up at first. Let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio for an update.